corrugated like crumpled toilet paper. The Power of Intelligence by Eliezer Yudkowsky. In our skulls, we carry around 3 pounds of slimy, wet, greyish tissue, corrugated like crumpled toilet paper. You wouldn't think, to look at the unappetizing lump, that it was some of the most powerful stuff in the known universe. If you'd never seen an anatomy textbook and you saw a brain lying in the street, you'd say yuck and try not to get any of it on your shoes. Aristotle thought the brain was an organ that cooled the blood. It doesn't look dangerous. 5 million years ago, the ancestors of lions ruled the day. The ancestors of wolves roamed the night. The ruling predators were armed with teeth and claws, sharp, hard cutting edges backed up by powerful muscles. Their prey in self-defense evolved armored shells, sharp horns, toxic venoms, camouflage. The war had gone on through hundreds of eons and countless arms races. Many a loser had been removed from the game, but there was no sign of a winner. Where one species had shells, another species would evolve to crack them. Where one species became poisonous, another would evolve to tolerate the poison. Each species had its private niche, for who could live in the seas and the skies and the land at once? There was no ultimate weapon and no ultimate defense, and no reason to believe any such thing was possible. Then came the day of the squishy things. They had no armor, they had no claws, they had no venoms. If you saw a movie of a nuclear explosion going off, and you were told an earthly life form had done it, you would never in your wildest dreams imagine that the squishy things could be responsible. After all, squishy things aren't radioactive. In the beginning, the squishy things had no fighter jets, no machine guns, no rifles, no swords, no bronze, no iron, no hammers, no anvils, no tongs, no smithies, no mines. All the squishy things had were squishy fingers, too weak to break a tree, let alone a mountain, certainly not dangerous. To cut stone, you would need steel, and the squishy things couldn't excrete steel. In the environment, there were no steel blades for squishy fingers to pick up. Their bodies could not generate temperatures anywhere near hot enough to melt metal. The whole scenario was obviously absurd. And as for the squishy things manipulating DNA, that would have been beyond ridiculous. Squishy fingers are not that small. There is no access to DNA from the squishy level. It would be like trying to pick up a hydrogen atom. Oh, technically it's all one universe. Technically the squishy things and DNA are part of the same world, the same unified laws of physics, the same great web of causality. But let's be realistic. You can't get there from here. Even if squishy things could someday evolve to do any of those feats, it would take thousands of millennia. We have watched the ebb and flow of life through the eons, and let us tell you, a year is not even a single clock tick of evolutionary time. Oh sure, technically a year is 600 trillion Planck intervals. But nothing ever happens in less than 600 million trillion Planck intervals. So it's a moot point. The squishy things, as they run across the savannah now, will not fly across continents for at least another 10 million years. No one could have that much sex. Now explain to me again why an artificial intelligence can't do anything interesting over the internet unless a human programmer builds it a robot body. I've observed that someone's flinch reaction to intelligence, the thought that crosses their mind in the first half second after they hear the word intelligence, often determines their flinch reaction to the notion of an intelligence explosion. Often they look up the keyword intelligence and retrieve the concept book smarts, a mental image of the grandmaster chess player who can't get a date, or a college professor who can't survive outside academia. It takes more than intelligence to succeed professionally, people say, as if charisma resided in the kidneys rather than the brain. Intelligence is no match for a gun, they say, as if guns had grown on trees. Where will an artificial intelligence get money, they ask, as if the first Homo sapiens had found dollar bills fluttering down from the sky and used them at convenience stores already in the forest. The human species was not born into a market economy. Bees won't sell you honey if you offer them an electronic funds transfer. The human species imagined money into existence, and it exists for us, not mice or wasps, because we go on believing in it. I keep trying to explain to people that the archetype of intelligence is not Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man. It is a human being, period. It is squishy things that explode in a vacuum, leaving footprints on their moon. Within that grey, wet lump is the power to search paths through the great web of causality and find a road to the seemingly impossible, the power sometimes called creativity. People, venture capitalists in particular, sometimes ask how, if the Machine Intelligence Research Institute successfully builds a true AI, the results will be commercialized. This is what we call a framing problem. Or maybe it's something deeper than a simple clash of assumptions. With a bit of creative thinking, people can imagine how they would go about traveling to the moon or curing smallpox or manufacturing computers. To imagine a trick that would accomplish all these things at once seems downright impossible, even though such a power resides only a few centimeters behind their own eyes. The grey wet thing still seems mysterious to the grey wet thing. And so, because people can't quite see how it would all work, the power of intelligence seems less real, harder to imagine than a tower of fire sending a ship to Mars. The prospect of visiting Mars captures the imagination. But if one should promise a Mars visit, and also a grand unified theory of physics, and a proof of the Riemann hypothesis, and a cure for obesity, and a cure for cancer, and a cure for aging, and a cure for stupidity, well, it just sounds wrong, that's all. And well, it should. It's a serious failure of imagination to think that intelligence is good for so little. Who could have imagined ever so long ago what minds would someday do? We may not even know what our real problems are. But meanwhile, because it's hard to see how one process could have such diverse powers, it's hard to imagine that one fell swoop could solve even such prosaic problems as obesity and cancer and aging. Well, one trick cured smallpox and built airplanes and cultivated wheat and tamed fire. Our current science may not agree yet on how exactly the trick works, but it works anyway. If you are temporarily ignorant about a phenomenon, that is a fact about your current state of mind, not a fact about the phenomenon. A blank map does not correspond to a blank territory. If one does not quite understand that power which put footprints on the moon, nonetheless the footprints are still there. Real footprints on a real moon, put there by a real power. If one were to understand deeply enough, one could create and shape that power. Intelligence is as real as electricity. It's merely far more powerful, far more dangerous, has far deeper implications for the unfolding story of life in the universe, and it's a tiny little bit harder to figure out how to build a generator.
Welcome to the Safety Third podcast. Something's different. Something feels different.
Something amazing has happened.
There's an energy. There's an energy.
Did you guys? No. Did you switch places from the last episode?
Yeah, but it's been 1 week. Of course, we're gonna switch places.
We've it's been
I don't
exactly
remember where
what.
we
That's
were
why
5
we're
minutes
wearing
ago.
the same clothes, because we're on the 1 week clothing rotation where we wear this every whatever day it is.
Yes.
Whenever
Current
this
day.
comes out. Yeah.
It's a continuity thing.
The year.
It's not a saving money by
Yes.
doing it all at once thing.
Yes, correct. It is. This is in real time.
Does it make it less exciting knowing that some of these episodes are recorded in the same day? I think the answer is yes. If I was the audience and I learned it wasn't recorded the morning,
You'd be like way less excited.
I would be like, this show sucks. Honestly, if I listened to this though, I would probably still say this
When will
show
this go
sucks, no
live?
matter how they recorded
For
it.
different reasons, though.
Yes, it's because it sucks.
But not this one. This is the one good show I think we'll ever do.
We made a huge mistake by almost. No, we did lose it. We lost the bugs. Are we at 15 seconds? How far are we into this?
Yeah, are we allowed to say
Okay,
this
so we
now?
can say.
Okay.
We lost the bugs life.
Wait, if you have kids,
fleshlight.
you can't hear this word.
If you're under the age of 13,
18? 13?
what
this-
rating
this-
is Bugs Life?
This is probably a PG.
Oh, I think
this
Bugs Life is
I would say
if
that
you're
this-
under the age of 5 years old, turn this episode of the podcast off. Or
if you're still
have
letting your kids
parental
watch at this point,
guidance.
you know it's coming. You
If you are under the age of 5, there's so many better things. If you're of any age, there's so many better
younger than
things.
5, if you're younger than probably 7, it's probably okay. But if you're between 7 and like 13, it's probably
there's an age
Yeah.
under
Where you're
which
too
you
young
won't
to-
even know what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Okay,
I feel like
it's like you just think mom and dad are fighting.
how much money would it cost to send an episode to the movie rating board?
I don't know if any amount of money does that.
Oh, is it?
I don't know how that works, but I don't think we can just do it.
Is it just sort of kind of like a
Do we have
like
to
a bullshit sort of thing?
Have ratings?
Well, because that board is always like the whole point of it is like it's secret, it's anonymous, and they're like not, I think, directly connected to the movie industry necessarily. So
That
it's like
sounds like a lie.
shadowy board of rotating. No one knows who's on that.
That sounds exactly the kind of thing you'd want for a rating system not connected to the industry. We don't know who they are, and we don't know how they make money.
I guess I don't know. Has anyone actually tried to find them? It might not be that hard.
I know that. I feel like the only story I know about it, or like the origin of it, is kind of BS. Like it was sort of just like arbitrary.
Yeah.
But then it was Team America World Police by Matt and Trey Parker.
Yeah.
Where they knew they were gonna get absolutely railed, and so they injected so much horrible stuff
Right.
to make it nearly impossible for them to like tell them to delete the entire movie.
Right.
And so I think there's like some horrible puppet sex. I mean, I know
Yeah,
there's
it's like
some
an
horrible.
extra on the
Exists.
DVD. Yeah, the
Okay.
NC-17 cut.
Apparently it used to be way longer. And so if they tell you to cut the whole thing out, it's like removing a significant portion of the movie. And so they tell you to cut it down. But if it's like a 6-minute puppet sex scene,
Yeah.
I mean, cutting it in half is great.
I feel like you've done the exact same thing. You know what? I can't give away our secrets.
They're always going to complain about something. So if
Yeah.
you give them a lot of things to complain about, then when you compromise,
Yeah.
you get some of the stuff you wanted in. So what you do is you fluff out some of the
I've done
bad
the similar things like for a video sponsorship. If it's coming up to the due date and I'm really late, I'll just kind of like submit something, maybe with an error or two in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I
yeah.
might get another like day or two while they like really stew over these two little details.
That's my favorite move of like putting a typo in like the link or
URL.
whatever.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
And then buying that domain and linking to porn.
Exactly. It works every time.
Hello, Frosh? Hello,
Yeah.
Hello, Frosh.
Hellfresh.
Hey, Chris.
Hellfresh.com, where we've got all of the Bugs Life fleshlight porn that you could ever possibly want.
Yes.
Please don't watch this if you're under the age of 5 or
Over the age of 18.
3 or wait.
Anyways, in this episode, we're going to open the homemade Bugs Life fleshlight sent to us by General Hugo, or Ugo. I don't know how you say your name.
Uggo.
And Uggo?
No, I
Could
don't know.
be. I don't know. And we lost it. We lost the box.
little bit, yeah.
We went up to the Cerro Gordo silver mine. We brought it with us, and then it got at some point taken out of the car, and it was in the garage under the table
With my grenades.
next to your grenades.
Yeah, because we were originally planning on unboxing this in the mine,
Yes.
and then we just didn't.
We
because
decided there were
it's
better
just-
things to do in the mine. I think we were gonna try to record like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Because we do they do the thing where you record them not the morning of, and we just never had the time to do it.
Oh wait, what is today's date?
Today is March
Today's March
9th.
9th.
When will this come out?
March
It's a
Yeah,
It's a
today
beautiful
is
day.
March, today
Oh my
is
God.
March 9th.
Dude,
yeah,
I am
today
so toasted.
is March 9th.
I am so.
Today's March
Today
9th.
is March
It doesn't
9th.
even matter. I just I don't have a schedule. I do everything last minute. That's like with the guy with the
Yeah.
tree trimmer. I just was like, okay.
Wait, did you believe that today day
I
is
did.
actually
I
March
did. I
9th?
actually did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard
It
to
is
believe.
literally February 15th right now, and Will was believe that it was March.
No, today is March 9th, and we've shot down the 456th Chinese balloon, and Ohio is still on fire.
Oh my god.
Actually, another train crashed there.
I thought Ohio was
If
always
another
on
one
fire.
does, that's gonna be fucked that you made that happen by
Oh
saying
God,
it just
I
now.
really hope it doesn't.
It was like Jay Schlatt on Twitter kept saying that the queen was
You're gonna be right eventually.
And then like he's in the UK, and he's like, I swear I had nothing to do with this.
Should we crack her open? This episode for you audio listeners. We're gonna try to,
Oh,
we're
God.
gonna try to make you sound. You're gonna hear what it is.
Yeah, we're gonna have a very descriptive.
We'll try
here.
our best, but some of these clips you're just gonna have to look at the video portion. We could put a link, right? A category, so you don't have to listen to this crap twice.
That's okay. I think the retention graph will be like, you'll see.
It's gonna spike here, and it's gonna be probably 3,000%. People watched it on average 30 times.
Yeah, I mean, I would. This is one of the only times. I mean, I
This
think.
is one of the coolest things that we've gotten as a podcast.
Other than the extra of the Pikachu rat thing, which is like over there now. Which is over there now,
I mean,
the
people don't
garbage.
send us stuff. This is like the first time somebody sent us like.
This is
safety
exciting.
for-
How long do you think we can drag it up before opening it?
Oh God,
I'm working on it.
minutes.
I'm really trying.
Minutes.
Do you want me to do my Donut Joe?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. No, I can't do it. No.
That was really good.
I need Pikachu. Wait, was it Donut Joe? This is my pet shop. I'm Donut Joe. And
Yes, and it's raining. Frogs.
Wait, why does it say live animals?
Kevin put that on there
true.
because
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
showing it to the wood chipper guy, and so we wanted him to think it was a real living Pikachu. It didn't work.
do you want to hear my interdimensional cable
Yeah,
idea?
yeah.
It's a commercial. Hi, do you need teeth right now? Well, this is Joe Donut from Immediate Teeth, and we got teeth for you right now. That's all I got.
If you make Rick and Morty, hire Kevin.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should be the new Rick and Morty. You should
Immediate
be-
Teeth.
Ah, gee, Rick.
Hey, Morty. Hey, I'm Morty. I'm Rick. I'm Rick. It's hard to keep track, but I'm Rick, and you're Morty.
Ooh, do pickle Rick.
Hey, I'm Pickle Rick.
That was really good. I'll do
Pickle
it.
Rick,
Do it,
you
but I'm
have-
gonna close my eyes.
Okay,
You have great
hey,
teeth.
I'm Pickle Rick.
Oh, it's like I'm in
do-
the same
now do Pickle
room.
Rick with new teeth.
I'm Pickle Rick with new teeth.
Wow, I'm sold. This could be you if you just sign up for Immediate Teeth now. That's an actual billboard in Florida. It says Immediate Teeth!
What?
Exclamation point. Yeah.
Immediate teeth?
Immediate Teeth.
Wait.
Florida is interdimensional cable.
Teeth now.
Because I've noticed that in like Texas, the billboards, like over half of them are about like accident lawyers. Like, you've been run over by a truck. Literally,
And still alive?
I think like in Houston, it seems like their economy is run mostly by people like making lawsuits for being in accidents.
That
I don't
is-
really know how
wow.
it works, but
So that is the most
That's so
American
Florida
thing
and
I've ever
Texas.
heard.
yeah, they don't do that in Florida. You
Oh,
don't
they
have, like-
do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a whole TV show called Siesta Key. It's a guy. He's an accident lawyer, and
Oh, I
he
think we
bought
talked
the
about
show
this.
for his kids, basically.
Oh.
That's really
1-800-ASK-GARY.
curse.
My neck, my back, my car just got smacked. Call
Oh my
1-800-ASK-GARY.
That's awesome.
That's got to be
Yeah.
copyright, like a
That's
violation
a
of it.
parody, right?
For marketing.
Oh, well,
That's pushing buttons because it's not
We'll
like.
see.
It's
We'll
like
see if
you're-
they copyright this
hey,
video.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
we're giving them promotion right now. That's free.
But we're also saying that it was bad.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess
don't-
no publicity is bad publicity. Though, so. Damn it.
God.
All right, I feel like if we drag this on any longer, people
Yeah,
are
I
gonna kill
want
us.
to crack open this bad boy.
All right.
This is
We're
just
edging
cracking
them.
open a fleshlight
Look
with
at
the
the sound.
boys.
Watch out for Heimlich. Or Heinrich? Heimlich?
I think it's
Stick
Heimlich.
the knife all the way in.
Yeah, yeah.
Precious cargo.
All right, Heimlich, show us what you got.
This is the most excited I've
right.
ever been to open a box.
All right,
shit.
Heimlich, you got to play like some
Okay.
music. Do we have any
We
epic
ready?
music
Yeah,
we can
do
play?
we
Like,
have
or I could do.
Halo section.
Oh, it's just more bubble wrap.
Here we go. We have a letter here.
Oh my god. I love how this is like, it's being masked.
All right, here we go. We've got a letter that says, "Hey, Alan, I just wanted to thank you. You are the guy who got me into both science and YouTube." Aw.
Just Alan.
Yeah. Well, he sent it to my address.
Oh, okay.
But we're opening them on the podcast.
Your real
Really?
actual address.
Science. Yeah, that was. Let me point out that I gave this person my
That's right,
real
this is for
actual.
you.
This is not a PO box. This is my house. He knows where I live. Which I mean, worth it. I watched your adventures on Mythbusters as a kid, and now I'm sending you a fleshlight as an adult. Crazy how the world works.
Oh my god, that's a...
This is the most inspirational letter I've ever read. Without your videos, I never would have found my calling on YouTube either. So thank you for inspiring me and others to get out there and make abominations. Also, please ignore the instructions printed on the handle. Under no circumstances should you fuck the caterpillar. Okay, cool. Bye now. This is incredible.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
What a trip.
So it's very well packaged. I feel we're gonna have to be surgical because there's a lot of tape on here, and we don't want to.
Yo, yeah, you don't hit the. This is.
There's only one
high
way we're.
stakes.
There's
Watch
only
out for
one
the
way we're
ticklers.
breaking.
The ticklers have to be intact.
Oh, I can kind of see him. It's almost like he's mosaicked already in real life. The universe won't allow this to be shown.
There's only one way we're allowed to break them, and it's not with a knife. All right, Heimlich, we're gonna free you from your plastic cocoon.
Oh my god, this is amazing. Thank you so much, General Hugo.
Yeah.
This is the only good podcast I think we've ever done.
See, this is why we're number 11,
11,
or 12.
12.
What
Well, by the time this
by
comes out, we'll be
now-
number 15,
but when this comes out, we'll be at number 1.
which is March 9th, which is today.
Yeah. Also, General Ugo won a contest on my Discord where he had to like build like a science-themed Christmas
This
thing.
guy's everywhere.
Yeah, and he won it.
awesome.
He did a good job. Good job, buddy.
Hell
Do you think
yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson opens
No
Bugs
way.
Life flashlights
No,
on his
he would
podcast? No. He doesn't have them.
Oh, I can see him. I can see the ticklers.
It's coming out. He's coming out of the cocoon.
coming out.
This is,
It's a big,
The
beautiful
caterpillar
boy.
is coming out of the
this
cocoon.
is actually like a really like awesome kind of metaphor for what
For the
actually
movie.
happens.
Yeah.
So like it kind of like will slowly wiggle its way out.
This is like
yes,
General
unfurl
Ugo.
your wings, fleshlight.
This is you, General Ugo. This is you being born into the world
Unfurl
of YouTube
your
and
wings
science.
and fly. Oh my god. Look at that purdy mouth.
Wow.
Wait, let me get
So
my finger.
for you audio
me get my
listeners,
finger up
it's
in there.
Let me
it's
Grab this bad boy.
it's Heimlich from Bugs Life, the movie, but he's made out of rubber and he has a little tiny mouth that's hollow, and he's got these little ticklers on him, and then the oh my god, the instructions.
Got an embossed 3D printed
wow.
label that simply says
No, you have to read it yourself.
read it yourself, audience. Literally.
So it's got Heimlich on the front and on the top.
So it's oriented the right
FTC.
way so that you can read the instructions while you're doing the instructions.
But he
So-
said not to. I'm getting mixed messages
Yeah,
here.
it's a little. Oh god, he's loose in there. What is going on?
What's inside?
I think that this is what is that like silicone or
Yeah,
something?
he might have done that like fast curing silicone trick.
How is it? How did they make that shape?
These little ticklers.
It's because
Wow,
this is
those
like
are really good ticklers. Come on, let him out of the cocoon a little bit.
He's got like grippers on the side.
Oh my god, you're right.
Holy
and it looks like the whole thing is 3D printed, but then like painted.
I love just the whole, you inspire
Oh,
me
you
to
could
make
tell.
videos and then like, or you inspire me to like become a maker, or engineer, or scientist, and then this is what they're making.
It was
So it looks like he 3D printed a mold and filled
It
it with
was,
silicone. You can
I-
see the lines on it.
Yeah.
I watched your adventures on Mythbusters as a kid, and now I'm sending you a fleshlight as an adult. Crazy how the world works. That is, I don't even know. I'm speechless. This is the
I bet
greatest
you
thing
Adam
I've
Savage
ever
has
seen.
never gotten a
Adam Savage
fleshlight in the
can
mail.
Kiss our fucking
He can
fleshlight.
kiss Heimlich. You can kiss Heimlich right on the mouth, Adam.
What is on the back there? Oh, General Hugo. Oh, nice. Wow.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the nicest. I mean, anything. This is one of the nicest things ever that has
feel like-
ever been sent.
You know how there's the Emmys? I feel like there's the Heimlich. I think we won the
Heimlichs.
The Heimlichs.
The
Kind of
Heimlich.
want to get in here. So
We're
it
still, the
looks
clam
like,
chowder is still down here. We could feed him some clam
Yeah.
chowder.
I mean, so I can see like striations on the caterpillar face itself. I think
Yeah.
he may have 3D printed a mold and then filled it with like an instant silicone sort of thing or a curing silicone.
How do you clean it?
Oh, you don't need to. Why would you? If you're only using it for yourself, the mouth is extremely tight. I will say that. I don't know what that implies about what he thought about our
Our
This is
usage
yours.
of it, because I can hardly fit a pinky in there.
I tried claiming it for all safety third, but I forgot this is you.
Wow, I love the way he looks into my eyes. I feel like it's like it kind of like feels like it wants to be pulled out.
You think there's like it's just a solid. Oh. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. That
It's
is
stirring a pot of macaroni.
That's exact macaroni in a pot. That's a Heimlich. That's a Heimlich.
All right, he's coming out of his.
He's coming out of his fleshlight.
This feels more like an extra than an actual podcast. Wow, he's thick.
Whoa!
Oh my god. Oh.
Whoa!
Okay, so that's
This is this is like a candle holder, dude. You can stick a candle in his mouth. It's just
A birthday candle.
And the wax just slowly drips down his face.
It's okay, he likes it.
What's
I
wrong
mean,
with you?
the hole does go all the way through. It's just really small.
So, is this hot glue? General Hugo, your craftsmanship is a solid like 4 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Well, that's the part that disturbs me is some parts of it are 10 out of 10 and some parts of it are like 4 out of 10.
to be fair, like silicone doesn't stick to anything. How are you supposed to get it?
To
in
be
there?
fair, he's very young and barely an adult.
Let me get that.
Oh, what
Can you blow it up? Do you have
we
the compressed air gun?
I don't
He's
think-
way too thick. Yeah, but look at that.
Oh, he's biting you.
Wow, he's a gripper.
That's how tight he is. He's very tight.
Did he fill the whole thing up with silicone? It feels like it's too.
No, that's like I think it's its own like 3D printed mold that he
Yeah, he
made.
like pulled it out and then put it in here.
I love that he just filled it with hot glue
and then painted
and just
over it.
painted over it. Like it did.
That's the landlord special, dude. Oh, so you got it because it goes all the way through. It's a through hole, so you gotta like,
Okay, I gotta plug it.
yeah, put some oil.
If we can't get it, editor, just add like a sound. You're gonna break your finger. Okay, ready? Use them as a straw in your drink.
It's a Chinese finger trap.
Yeah, you put it in both ends and it won't let go.
If anybody listening or watching to this would like to send us something,
Quiet on set.
There you go. There's a little pop there. It's a little bit. This is amazing.
man, I feel like
Get him back in there now.
go back in there. Come on, Heimlich, you can do it. Oh, he's thick. He's too thick for this. Wow. He wants to go back into the cocoon, but damn.
Yeah, why did you add the hot glue? He
I'm
doesn't-
slowly working him in.
Oh yeah.
He knows.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
done this before. Man, this thing's gonna be a nightmare to clean, which is why we're not gonna.
We're not gonna try him out for real.
should get the staple gun or the nail gun and put him on the wall right now.
I've got duct tape. I'll make a shelf. Okay.
Oh yeah, we got
Is this shelf more respectful than a nail gun?
a little bit. I think a little bit, yeah.
Wow. You know, some of my old coworkers watch this podcast.
They're gonna be so jealous.
They used to do special effects too, so this will be extra impressive to them.
Cause like
There he
the
goes.
feelers had to have been, the whole thing had to have been one piece.
Yeah, you think he did it all in one?
It had to have been.
All the pieces.
Cause like how else? Cause like once the silicone's cured, I don't know if there's a good way to attach silicone to silicone, especially if they're like sticking out like
I
that.
think you can use more silicone, right?
Can you?
I don't know.
You see like a little. I think it might have been.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Silicone sticks to itself. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe that was how they hear the antennas.
That's
off.
how I did the cat saw stamp.
Oh,
I did a
silicone
silicone stamp, and then I essentially poured silicone in the handle, and then put it on top.
I see.
So it did. At least it sticks well enough. No, it does stick.
I'm gonna put this right here for now.
You want to warm it up?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. How does it make you feel knowing that you've inspired people to build stuff?
Honestly, this is like, I can't even describe it. Like the fact that, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a terrible, awful, disgusting abomination. But like, you know, what else was that guy gonna do?
I love that Mark Rober is like inspiring kids to build little like machines and traps, and people are, look at this flashlight I made. I honestly don't think I want to be anywhere else.
I guarantee you that this guy, he's gonna go on to like invent some kind of like medical like stent
Yes.
for heart arteries,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be based off of this design, and it's gonna save 1 million people's lives.
Yes, and they're gonna have no idea that the genius of his medical invention stemmed from one of these very moments.
I just think it's like it's like the just having an idea, even a really god awful
And
one,
following through.
and then doing it like
Yeah.
that. This
The ultimate badassery. If you have an idea and you don't do it, you suck. Do your ideas.
yes.
No matter
Even
how dumb,
the
especially the
worst
dumber.
bad ideas.
Those are the best ones.
Yes.
Every single time, those are the best ideas. The dumber the idea, the better the idea.
You know what that means? Nobody's probably done it before because they thought it was too dumb. But
Yes.
guess what?
Guess what? It wasn't. This was the greatest idea ever. I honestly hope that you can surpass this, but I don't think you ever will, General Hugo.
I hope you can put this on your resume.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is
No,
for
this is
sure
more of a
part
portfolio piece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cover sheet.
Definitely.
Skills include silicon mold making. Look at that. Include 3D printing, marketing. Yeah, that's job worthy right there.
Yeah, what is that on the side? These like
Grippers.
weird asterisk. Is that what they are?
I think so.
Liberty.
Liberty, can you
You've
look
seen
up
a
what
couple
the
of these
side-
in your day, right? Why are you laughing?
How- he gonna know?
That laughing is a yes laughing.
Are these grippers on the side?
I would imagine so.
Okay.
Okay, that means okay. So we'll take that as they are.
That's amazing. Yeah, they really do fit like finger to thumb. That really is like where that goes.
That sound.
For the audio listeners at home. Just in case you can't see what's going on, this is all you need to know is the sound.
That's a solid sound. That's what it sounds like when I run really fast.
It was really hot out.
Yeah.
Really sweaty. That's not a thing we should be embarrassed about, right?
No.
Like the fact that, if it's really hot out and
Yeah.
your body regulates itself in certain ways.
And so when you're running and your arms are slapping against your chest.
Oh, your arms. Okay. I was thinking of something else.
You're sick, Alan.
Have you like sometimes it's hot outside and you're walking downstairs.
Dude,
And
we were in
just-
Japan. I literally had to go buy different underwear. It was so bad. I had to buy the longest underwear I could find. My legs, I was like the worst shredded inner thigh I've ever experienced in my life. It was so bad.
Just moist and
Yeah.
like wet and gross.
It was just like I don't know how to describe just like that like irritated rash.
like a chafing.
Like chafing rash, maybe? I don't know what diaper rash is, but I imagine it's like what diaper. Yeah, like kind of like bed sores. It was so bad, and we had to do so much walking. I was like, I literally I in a subway station, like in one of the underground malls, I bought a pack of underwear. I would have paid anything for them at this point too. I'm so glad I didn't tell them, because they could have charged me whatever. And I went into the bathroom and changed. Like it was like literally I cannot go any further. I need.
That's incredible.
And that's how I know what it sounds like.
How's that? Oh, you're going all out on that shelf, Kevin. That's like a real shelf.
I'm not sure the duct tape's gonna stick to steel so well.
Yeah, especially
Greasy, trashy,
real
rusty steel
that's got real rust and real grease and is made of real metal on it.
For the audio listeners, right now, Kevin is taping a cardboard shelf to the side of our steel dumpster so that we can display proudly Heimlich, the Bug's Life fleshlight.
This is the centerpiece. There you go.
We're gonna come back tomorrow and it's gonna be on the ground.
The lighting.
It's so dramatic.
He's underlit. Holy! I don't know if any of the cameras can actually get that angle, but right now he's got the most dramatic lighting on his face.
Should I try to shake him out a little bit more?
He likes it in there.
Okay,
He likes
This
it.
is probably the most evil fleshlight I've ever seen, and I've not seen very many. We saw one at Target. Target was selling this stuff for a while. Are they still doing it? Remember that, the Target brand one?
Yeah, I
don't
saw
know.
them.
He probably. I
That's
think they
pretty
probably
bold.
do.
If they can do it, we can do it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh.
How much do you think people would pay for these things?
I don't know. Probably not. very much.
$5,000?
I think we could. There's at least one person that would pay that much.
And that's who you don't want to have it either.
Everyone's got a price, Kevin. Even us. And it's not very high. I think I would just be more flattered.
I feel complete now. I feel whole.
Man, there's a bunch of I feel like weird ideas that we've talked about that I'm not sure how deep into this we want to go to. Remember some of the ideas?
The molds?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea. Somebody's done this before, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like some German heavy metal band kind of did this.
Okay.
They released a box set of like all their music and a cast of every member's
Oh.
schlong. Yeah, they didn't say whose it was, but they
Should we do that?
As long as you don't know whose is who.
yeah.
Okay.
You've been talking about this
people-
idea.
Yeah, we talked about it, I think, on we can talk about it again.
We talked about it.
Oh, we talked about it
2
already?
weeks ago.
2 weeks
I
ago.
think.
On March 8.
Oh yeah.
No, what
Wow.
comes before March? February.
February 20 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
we
that.
talked
I
about
remember
that
that morning very
Only
vividly.
2 weeks ago.
It was a
I thought
cold
we talked about
morning.
that after the podcast. It was during.
No, I think it
With
was during,
Jake.
because I remember thinking, why do we talk about this crap on the podcast? I think that, I mean, with the damage is already done, we might as well just go into it, right?
Okay, yeah. You mean the anonymous dick mold wall?
No.
No.
The internal molds of a fleshlight being like different
Oh.
vegetables
Wow,
or
okay.
fruits.
Oh. Okay. Wait,
thought
what
you were
was
talking about
that?
something
It
for?
was
What was-
which vegetable? This is actually not my idea, but it was IDubbb's
Sure,
idea. But he
sure,
hasn't. He never,
okay.
I don't think he's ever gonna do it.
Okay.
And if he does, this is just free advertising for it. It's which like vegetable is the most
Fuckable?
Yeah.
So it's not. It's the hollowed out.
Yes, it's the
shape.
negative shape
Oh,
of like
okay.
a carrot
so it's
or
not
an
like
eggplant.
You're not fucking the inside of a carrot.
No,
You're
well,
fucking the
what the inside
outside
would,
of a carrot.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
And then the other idea was to then take a mold of like someone's actual junk and then use that as the internal cavity.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So there's this channel, and I don't know the name of it. I could probably find it, and it is one of the funniest YouTube channels I have ever seen, and I don't think he means for it to be this funny.
Oh God, that's.
It's this
unfortunate.
guy that reviews sex toys.
Oh, I think you showed me.
I think I have, and it's so obscene, it's so ridiculous that it's like, this can't be real, but
Yeah.
it's so far beyond that like it can literally only be real.
Because he test drives all of them, right?
So he talks about it, he like looks at them, he's such a professional, he's super serious, and then he uses them, but you can't show that, so he just turns the
Does he
video
like
off.
record data points?
No, it's just
Is it, like,
audio. It's
just
just
audio?
audio.
Oh, it's
and
just audio.
It's so disturbing and
Wait,
funny.
Does he like
Wait, oh.
commentate during when he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this feels
Oh.
very
Yeah.
good," and it's shaped just like a celebrity's penis,
Yes,
but the
it is
inside.
so
Okay.
funny. to go through these, and it's like I don't even know how to describe it. Like you basically have to watch one because it's such like a emotional roller coaster. It's like for me, like why would you ever publicize your sort of weird hobby like this? But he
Says
does.
the man who
Yeah, we do
publicizes
it.
his weird
Yeah,
hobby.
but not. I mean, is it the same? Are we on the same?
I think it's you're looking at a Batman Joker situation
Okay.
here. I think where you're pretty much the same thing, just on the other side of the
Just
coin.
okay.
I think so.
I've never turned the camera
You
off.
also just reviewed the sex toy.
Yeah, but we didn't turn the camera off.
That's true.
That's the line for you.
Is that the Patreon bonus episode? Is the one where you turn the camera off?
Okay, so they actually get less than notice the same exact thing.
It's
but we
less but
turn the-
more.
Well, the audio listeners actually got that same experience.
Yes. Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the the video games where you can turn on the mode where it's black and white. You're literally
Oh, yeah.
removing data and you're making it better and different. So maybe we do that. Maybe do a re-release where we turn the lights on.
You know when you close your eyes and your other senses become more sensitive?
Yes.
I think maybe it's one of those things. It's like ASMR, but also a review.
I'm so sensitive right now. Oh. Whoa, what was that? That felt good. That's my review.
So maybe I could start a business. I've only played with silicone, 2-part silicone once, and it was for the cat
To
stand.
make a okay.
It was
To
a
make
mold of my
fleshlight-
cat.
A fleshlight of your cat.
It's a mold of his feet. Such a bad segue. It's really cool. Silicone, 2-part silicone is
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
extremely cool, and it makes me want to do more stuff, but I don't know what to do. I mean, I have some ideas now of what I could do. But those will be more of the hobby stuff that I don't share with everybody.
Yeah,
It's carrots, by the way.
the best vegetable to fuck.
Yeah. Baby carrots.
Baby carrot. No, because why do they make condoms so big?
Right,
if
exactly.
a condom was the size of a baby carrot, I think let's just say what
I've
we're
been
all
complaining
thinking,
about
fellas.
this for years.
Yeah, I think that they would fit everyone way better.
know-
I mean, at
Yeah.
least for us,
are
right?
so-
Yeah.
You don't need
I
to
never
boost
got
my
that.
ego. It's making it worse. What was the war psychological warfare thing where they were dropping normal condoms on Russia or something, or was that just a plan that they had?
No, I think they did that.
Did they do it?
Who did
Yeah.
that?
It was the
What?
U.S. government. That's why I don't feel bad talking about any of this stuff, because the U.S. government's done far worse than any of the things we've done. They made condoms in Russian or something. And I'm totally. Do you want to fact check this?
We're just making fake news now.
I know.
This is all deep.
I think they
fakes.
made them
They made
for
normal or
Americans.
small, the physical size, but they made them large physically, but then packaged them.
this big.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But they labeled them as small or medium.
Yeah, this is for Americans, but they dropped
Yeah.
them they kind of left them in Russian places.
Yeah, and I think it was in Russian text and
This
stuff.
is
Or I don't
the
know.
psyop demoralization
Yeah,
campaign
that's
to
exactly
make
what it
Russians think
was.
they had little penises
Yeah.
so they didn't fight as good.
Right.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
I know. I
That's
don't-
the
Diabolical.
gay bomb. Remember
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
one?
Yeah, that's real too. Or they tried to make it real, but I think it actually kind
Make
of was
it
real.
gay bomb.
How did that one work? How did the gay bomb work?
It was just the U.S. Military was trying to come up with a drug that would make people so horny that they couldn't help but fuck each other.
Isn't that just rave drugs?
No, I think it was a pheromone.
The idea was it was
Yeah.
going to be a gaseous thing, like mustard gas, except it's horny gas.
It's like a rainbow grenade.
Yeah, and so they would bomb enemy bases, and everyone in there would get so horny that they'd have sex with each other, and then the morning after they couldn't look each other in the eye anymore, and then they wouldn't fight as good.
I love that.
It
the
turned out
morning
that they
after
were
the
they fought really good after that.
They're like
stronger.
through the roof. Suddenly they were the most united army in the entire universe.
That's what they mean when they say boys will be boys.
Yeah, they were hoping for the opposite, where everyone would be so ashamed that they couldn't help but fuck each other.
Remember
the
when you were a
next
kid,
morning.
you'd stay up late playing Super Smash with your bros?
It's like that.
Wait.
But
It's like that, but there's no N64.
it's like everyone's like, oh no, I think the U.S. bombed us with one of those gay bombs. Well, better
Turns out it was
just.
just an oil drum caught on fire.
Better go to town on each other, boys. Can't help it.
The war ended 40 years ago. What are you doing?
I'm having flashbacks.
What
is
is
it,
the
Liberty?
condom thing real, Liberty?
Yes.
Yes and no.
That's kind of yes. A yes and a no.
Just a no would have been embarrassing. All right, what's the no?
The no is that it was apparently a Winston Churchill joke to prank either the Russians or the Americans.
So it was just a joke or an idea?
It was a joke, but apparently some states considered it.
So it was. Yeah, that seemed. I feel like
Okay.
they've considered everything,
Yeah.
but probably done a small fraction of it.
What
It was like
about-
the
look up
pigeon
the gay
bombs,
bomb.
right?
Yeah,
I think
everything's
that
on
is
the
like
table.
they
Yeah.
did test. They actually tested that one.
What could they possibly? I mean, other than like, I mean, I feel like
Chemicals, I don't know.
I don't really do any drugs, but from what I know about like ecstasy, would that not be like the closest thing?
I mean, they played around like LSD. I don't know if they forced anyone to make gay sex.
I mean, it wouldn't be forced. That'd ruin the point of it.
Well, because the idea is
Or do
like
they
if
force them? They ask if they like
they
it.
can't help themselves. Is the like
I think it like
it's-
removes the barrier in your brain.
The
you know?
inhibition. Yeah, that's why I feel like
Yeah.
the U.S. military really just
I
sort
feel
of
like
does
if
whatever
you
they
took this
want.
drug, anything basically within like a 30-meter
just
radius is
do it.
susceptible
You
to it.
just do it.
Mailboxes, your rifle.
Yeah.
You take
This
the
is
fuse out of a grenade.
The same generation that made the helicopter. They're like, we can literally do
It's a
anything. They
thing?
put a man on a moon. They tried to make men gay with smoke. They built a helicopter. I
what a
actually,
time to be alive.
I feel like how much progress was made technologically in that time. What do we do now? What part of the government is trying to make?
I feel like AI, it's gonna. I think it like we're going to reach a point where AI could develop a gay bomb for the human race.
Cat boys
Yes, I think so. Tom Scott just had a video actually
about cat boys.
about cat boys and fucking them, and also about AI. sorry, Tom. He doesn't listen. To
No,
this,
he
right?
doesn't. No.
No, there's no way.
No, he definitely listens to this.
He was talking about like the kind of adoption curve, I think you could describe it as, for new technologies. And so he was like talking about how like for the internet you had like Napster as like the very beginning of this curve of like essentially leading to Spotify
Right.
of like for
Like this is what people want. Like Napster sort of showed them the internet was
yeah,
useful.
so it was like up until that point, the model was you bought music. You would pay to have a song in your possession. And then Napster was like, well, what if you just had them?
right.
And eventually it was like they like, you know, Spotify and other streaming businesses kind of worked out that idea, but in a way that was like financially
kind of like forced them to do it.
Yes.
Because the music industry is super archaic.
Yes.
It's like, I feel like the music industry, we just talked to some people at YouTube who work on the music side of things. And I feel like the music industry is not actually making music. It's just a business.
Yeah.
And the music happens to be this product, but they never really see it. It's like, it's this like machine, this industrial machine that is just trying to extract as much value out of the music as possible. Like that is what the industry does.
Yeah.
And then they have artists who get a small, pittance of that money generated. And so I feel like to change the music industry,
Yeah. So I mean, you can imagine trying to explain kind of how all that works to someone in like 1990. It
No
wouldn't make
way,
any
yeah.
fucking sense. And so he was equating something like ChatGPT to where Napster was then. So it's like whatever is going to happen in the next
Oh,
5 to
yeah.
10 years,
That's-
it'll be like what Napster did to music, but it'll be ChatGPT for who the fuck
for
knows.
people talking
Yeah.
to each other.
Yeah, basically. So it's like it's this, I don't know. It feels like I feel very I'm excited to see some shit. I think a
have
lot
a-
of it's going to be bad, but I'm
Yes.
excited.
I have a feeling that there's a lot of cool things, but I have a feeling most of the things are going to be bad things.
All right, I have 2 points. Number one, gay bomb was tested and researched, but they couldn't find anything that worked.
They just kept having regular gay
What?
sex
Yeah.
and not drug-induced gay sex.
What worked the best?
I don't know.
There's got to be some that did better than others.
Probably. It didn't
And if
say
you're the
though.
U.S. government, you
It said
literally
there
would
was
try
no-
everything.
Yeah.
There was kind of it said no pheromones. They could not find any pheromones.
Was it
that were-
polyvinyl chloride?
Oh no.
Oh no, poor Ohio.
The frogs have had
Oh wait, no,
enough.
that one just kills everything.
The frogs have had enough. Leave the frogs alone. The chemicals in the water. It's going to turn them straight
What
again.
worked on the frogs?
Oh, like birth control, I think. Something. It was
it
like
getting
some
in the
Birth
water?
control makes frogs gay?
Yeah. You don't. Hello, Alex Jones. This was the one thing he was right about.
I thought it was Obama. That's my mouse pad. My mouse
No,
pad
it was
says
something
that.
like there was
Obama made the frogs gay?
Yeah. No, my frog
Something.
gay. It's the internet comment etiquette merch. That's a normal now.
Also, Alex Jones was not right about that. I'm not giving him any credit for anything. This was already discovered. He just like repeated the news. So,
Okay.
and
What was the second point?
second point? I forgot.
First point, gay bomb. Second point, I don't know.
Also
No,
gay
it
bomb.
was something about ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So like I already read things and hear things, and I'm like, this was written by ChatGPT.
Oh, no.
And then I kind of realized that it was like it was fed garbage. So like this is the
Hmm.
kind of garbage you get out of it. Like I hear ads on the radio, and I'm like, this person just totally
really?
typed in like,
Well,
yeah.
Huh. I already use it, and I like the last thing that I got approved by like the sponsor was almost entirely ChatGPT generated.
Yeah. I saw some of the ones you guys are posting. They're not bad. They're like a little weird, but it works.
I mean, it's better than writing it yourself.
I mean, they literally give you talking points. They're like, say
Yes,
this.
and so you can feed that into ChatGPT, and it'll arrange it for you in a way that like makes sense.
Or you could just listen to other YouTubers that have already done the same sponsorship and just copy them.
Yeah,
Or copy
but-
yourself from the other sponsorship.
But it still feels like it's so early that no one I think has really, at least not sort of like in YouTube, really like taken full advantage of what you might be able to do, but I don't even know
I know
I'm
that
that.
channel that
really-
get GPT'd.
Oh yeah, there's a guy who made a video of me. He's actually got a series, like
Yeah.
he's sort of done a couple people, where he writes a
says,
script with ChatGPT,
He says, write a William Osmond video for me. And then it
And it'll
spits
do
out.
it?
a
Yeah.
script, and then it's really bad. Honestly, it was really funny because
Are you
of
sure
how
that
bad.
one's real? Because I feel
I
like
think it's
I think
kind of
it's
real.
because
Yeah.
of how, yeah.
because I feel like you'd have to try hard for it to do a bad enough job for it to be funny, if that makes sense.
No,
It's funny in a
he
bad
did
way.
it.
Okay.
It's like he did it himself. Like he followed the instructions.
Yeah,
You'd
so
have
it's
to
like he
watch
sort
it.
of like it kind of pretends like it's my hands, but then the
Oh.
character is like just a cutout of me. That's
Okay.
like procedurally animated. I don't know how that
Kind
was.
of got like the South Park thing going on.
Yeah, it feels like an artificial animation because it's really
Yeah.
like kind of bizarre. And then he has like the real stuff where it films like kind of like from like POV. And the one for me was a Skittles sorting machine. And basically the script is like you need these things. It's like colored paper,
Yeah.
and a motor and battery and
a funnel.
clear tape and a funnel.
A bag of
and it was
Skittles.
like cut a hole in like the Tupperware, tape the funnel to it, or like use clear tape to attach the funnel, put the electric motor into the inside of the Tupperware,
And now
then
tape 7 different
cut-
colored pieces of paper to the bottom of the Tupperware container.
and then it was like, and now put Skittles in the funnel. And so literally it's just like they're just going into the Tupperware, and there's no
then he like
sort of-
kicked around by the motor.
He put like a little thing on the motor, so it just kicks him around, and then there's like this epic shot just pointing down at it, and it's just the colors are all mixed on the like completely wrong. And he's like, it's really funny for like it just sort of worked really well for like how bad.
I see.
But I think what worries me with ChatGPT is the stuff that you can't figure out. It's like the subtle things where it can do a good enough job with like short segmented things,
Right.
where you can't tell or it's not obvious that it's
Yeah.
AI. Like, you know, even the idea. I mean, we were talking about it. I don't know when, but like if you were to have it write comments on a channel of somebody you wanted to like tear down,
Oh, yeah.
to make them feel really bad about themselves. Like if you wanted to target someone who was doing political stuff, or you know maybe like I mean I don't know. You could probably pick one of any of these small channels that has a small community that's trying to make it and just degrade them and make them feel like people hate them.
Huh. Just like make your own like cyberbullying
Yeah.
mob.
Right, and you could use the transcript, pull topics from the video, and use it to like
okay.
try to generate comments.
This sounds like Think of the Children. Like I don't think that's really.
Dude, I don't know,
you could do
man.
that yourself.
Yeah, but I think that like that's even if that literally doesn't happen, that would be like a pipeline of like little tiny bite-sized morsels.
Slippery slope fallacy.
But look on like you go on Reddit, right? Let's say you look for like how often do you ever do Google search with Reddit at the end? So like
a couple of times.
like HP laptop Reddit, and then you go to a Reddit thread where people type.
That's the only way to do it.
Right. It's very hard to find genuine reviews, and Reddit is one of the best sources for people who have actually like used the product or service or who can recommend it, or like even websites.
ChatGPT #1.
Yeah. So like trying to find the legitimacy of websites, it's like go to search for the website Reddit, and then you can kind of see like this is a website, this is a website. That's like you could literally create like automated systems to just slowly bias like positivity towards an HP laptop. Like imagine even there's a couple of comments like, oh, I have one, it's great.
Right.
ChatGPT could do that.
Yeah.
Or the battery lasts longer. Like something where it's a little bit of context, and you can publish them, and there's like a little bit of randomization. It feels like genuine and real, and then you can have it like interact with other threads and make like pretty convincing fake people.
Yeah.
Not like what bots currently are, where it's super obvious.
Yeah,
like
it's
on
like,
YouTube.
oh wow, I just participated in the Mr. Beast giveaway. Yeah, me too. Wow, I won $500. Wow, I wish somebody told me about this sooner. And it's you can spot that a mile
And that's
away.
all done by hand. So now imagine you've got a robot. Like robots are horrifying because they'll just do the same thing all
And
day,
it has
every
like
day,
a
never
little
sleep.
bit more like variance kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, and so then the platforms or whoever has to figure out a way to detect this sort of pattern. But if you now have, it's like, dude, it's bad.
It kind of feels almost like, I mean, it's like we're never gonna know until we like get there, right? But it's almost like there's a concept in security. I'm blanking on like the exact term, but basically, there was like a very brief period of time in the world where like there was a time where
Security by obscurity.
it was like there were locks that were unpickable for a few years, right? This was like Victorian era, I think, where it's like people like before lock picking kind of caught up to the technology of locks. There was a brief period of time, it was like a few years, where you could lock something and know with 100% certainty that it would always be
there was
locked.
nothing that you could use to like break the lock, nothing to pick the lock.
As of right now, there is not any lock in the world that does not have a way to pick it.
Thanks to ChatGPT.
Yeah, thanks to
And
Chat
the
and lock
atomic
picking
age.
lawyer.
ChatGPT will nag the lock so hard it opens on its own.
So it's like it was like a handful of years where you could lock something and know it was unpickable, and that never happened again. Once that lock was broken, after that point, every new lock that was invented was always essentially defeated soon after.
Thanks to the lock picking lawyer.
Exactly. And so it's like now you've got a situation where it's like we had this kind of like golden age where we sort of knew with like high certainty that it was like stuff that you would read on the internet was made by a person. Even if it was like a bot that was shitty enough usually where it's like you could tell.
Yeah, like the individual lines were written by a person.
Right, where it's like you still had to have a human involved in the process.
But now it's almost like the lock's been picked, and so it's like you can never, ever with certainty count on that anymore.
I mean, we saw like when we talked to Niall Green, Mr. Green, and some people were upset saying, we're going to use like, if you stifle the creativity and whatnot. And it's like, what just happened? What just happened? Literally the worst case scenario for the deepfakes.
Yeah.
I'm worried that whole, debacle was the best advertising for that content.
Yeah, I mean, I think that website did have like a huge spike, and then it was like,
Well, because that was like put in the spotlight of literally the first time it happened. You're about to get nuked, like
Yeah.
But that to me is like the part that I'm like worries me is because like the Nile Green stuff is great and fine, but the problem is there's this very weird threshold of like consent where he started doing it kind of with just the assumption that he could do it, and then it turned into a money-making endeavor, and then it starts to get complicated, and that's literally what happened with the AI porn. They were selling it. They were taking people's likeness. They were making sort of the most vulnerable content you could ever make and put on the internet. Like that is sort of like you cannot go back from that. And they were making money off of selling essentially the most sensitive thing they could take.
But then
somebody.
it comes back to security through obscurity, right? You can't prove that this is me, and once that's out there, it's like that's not me, and also like
But it's still like there's
depends
something.
on
It's still like
how
a
you react to
violation.
it.
Like it's sort of the most violating. Like one, I mean, there's a lot of bad things, but it's like that would be, to me, that would be really
the thing is,
bad.
you could have always photoshopped somebody's head onto a naked person's body forever.
There's something worse about video.
Yeah.
Man, it's such a it's such a scary precedent.
You saw the Twitch never-ending Seinfeld stream, right?
Yes,
Did you
that
see
got
one?
yeah.
And it got taken down because it kind of accidentally made a bad joke.
But I feel like I watched
was
it
that
and
like
it felt
a-
like
Yeah,
the
the
bad
joke
joke was a
itself
bad
was
joke.
yeah, it was kind
Yeah.
of like the joke itself was something you could imagine like one of the characters on It's Always Sunny telling to like sort of show that they were a bad person.
It was like sort of an in the show
Yeah.
joke, not
Yeah.
a joke the show
Yeah.
made.
So I mean, honestly, like the context might have. I feel like it probably would have worked if it
What was the
human.
show?
It was AI generated Seinfeld, where they must just have taken all the scripts and they were using. Well, no, they weren't using ChatGPT.
I think they switched around because when the joke that got them kicked off of Twitch happened, I think they partially blamed that they had to switch
Models.
chat engines. Yeah.
So it was like creating procedurally animated Seinfeld, which I'm not sure how that worked, but apparently it was a
Yeah.
shit ton of work what they did for this.
So because then it was not just so you had the text.
Was there video too?
Yeah. So
but the
that
video
was the thing.
wasn't. It was not like it was rendered. It wasn't the neural network.
I don't know the details, but
Or
it
there
was
was like a bunch of different pre-made things, and it would kind of match to the right.
It was
scenes.
like creating scenes maybe from like pre-existing assets, but it was creating scenes and creating dialogue and speaking the dialogue and showing the scenes entirely on its own forever.
showing the people like speaking the dialogue.
Yeah, and
But
it was like very
it was like
That's
old
cool.
video
That
game
sounds
kind of
cool.
graphics.
Yeah, but
okay.
it was
Oh,
the whole
okay.
thing was designed so it could go forever. It was
like
a
the
never,
one episode that goes forever.
It was a never-ending episode
That's
of
cool.
Seinfeld,
That's
and
cool.
so it was like that. That's sort of like looking at that and seeing sort of a possible future where that's sort of like the baby version, where it's like in the future. Could you have something where it's like you type in a genre of movie, some actors you want to see, and like an overall like a tagline to the plot, and then it just creates a 2-hour movie for you with anyone you want to see in it?
Do you know what
That's
people are going to
super cool.
type
That's
into
a
that
cool
box
concept.
immediately?
Porn,
Yeah.
porn, porn,
Yeah.
porn.
Michael Bay has sex with Michael Bay, and on one of the Japanese planes from Pearl Harbor movie. They're on the wing.
National Treasure, but Nicolas Cage is naked.
Oh, and he's searching for George Washington's coffin, and George Washington's also naked.
Like you can see, it's like that's kind of so far off in terms of like the amount of actual like computing happening, but it's like you can see like the glimmer of that in this Infinity
There's a
Seinfeld episode.
glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
It's like a Star Wars movie, a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, which you could make yourself if you
Darth
just type
Vader
in,
wearing
like,
his
script
suit,
for a Star Wars
and
movie
he
called
had
Glimmer
sex
of
with
Hope.
Yoda in lava.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, once if you've got that capability, then you can just put yourself in the movie too. Take enough
I
video
am
pictures of yourself.
Darth Vader, and then you realize
Yeah.
he very rarely takes his helmet off. The AI is like, easiest job I've ever done.
I want to watch self-insert porn of me in Star Wars having sex with Jabba the Hutt.
4K.
While
4K
Yoda watches.
rendered, moody 4K
From a
moody
quarter
lighting,
mile away.
dynamic color.
Yoda senses it in the Force.
He senses an abnormally large force.
But so it's like, if you've got something like that, what are the
Force, I
implications
sense.
for like everything? Do you still make movies if that can be a thing that people can do? Do you still want to make a Hollywood movie if someone can just type in
Hey, that's-
Keanu Reeves making out with Nicolas Cage in whatever movie you want to see?
We'll be free.
That's
We'll
the-
finally be free. Well, it's
Yeah.
like basically what you're describing is the robot singularity.
For
you know?
entertainment, I guess.
Yeah, but I think if it hits that point, it's already taken over every other aspect.
I
think
think
it's already done.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that I feel like is pretty far off. I'm more like right now. It seems like the ability to take something from people that they don't want to give is literally happening.
Yeah. Like
And
right now.
that's the scariest part. I mean, like, there's really nothing more disturbing than somebody, pulling like your kind of most vulnerable assets and then making money off it. It's like, A, you're being exploited.
Mm-hmm.
B, people are seeing you in a way that you never wanted them to see you, which is like very disturbing.
Yeah.
See, you're not even making any money off it.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
Yeah,
it's like
come on.
you're not even getting paid for this discomfort and exploitation.
What if it's more like a licensing thing in the future? Like, yeah,
That's
you put yourself into this computer, you give them all your assets,
Yes.
you like speak a lot of lines, and then
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
If you are okay
and
with
you got to
it,
pay like whatever, how many credits to it.
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace credits.
the problem
Zuck
is
bucks.
it gives people the
Zuck
ability to do whatever they want without any of your consent, no matter how malicious or totally like fine. And
I think it will kind of end up being like a lot of corporate kind of secret sauce AIs where it's like you go to the Amazon AI and it it can make all these movies for you or something like that, but it's still tied to Amazon. They're like trade secret AI bots.
Right. Yeah.
Something like that. Or like, oh my God, there's the Netflix streaming AI bot. And then you have the Disney.
It's like
and
always
then
shittier than all the other ones.
If you want the
It just
Disney
makes like
characters,
straight to DVD
if you want the
movies.
Disney characters, you have to pay for the Disney streaming AI bot service.
Frozen 300.
Yes, I want to see 300 iterations of the movie Frozen. Oh, wait, like a kid would literally do that.
Yeah.
A kid would watch one.
They watch Spider-Man and Elsa pissing in bathtubs on YouTube.
Except now it can just come straight from YouTube.
It's gonna be
Disney
the
figured out how
same
to monetize
streaming
it.
hell.
I think that's like one of the issues here is like, it's like we don't even know what is on the horizon for this, but we do know what the incentives are. And the incentives that people are going to use this for are all terrible.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much just like entertainment and malicious.
Imagine.
And informative.
Yeah.
I
Imagine like.
But the monkey brain just wants the first skill.
Imagine how bad this is going to be at like a smaller scale for like individuals who aren't online. Like it's bad for individuals who are online, but at least like you've got enough public presence to like make a big stink about it. Imagine, it's like, kids, and I guarantee this has happened. It's like kids at school.
Definitely going to be worse for kids at school.
Bullying is going to go
Yeah.
through the roof once everyone's got all that free
And
time.
it's the nerds who are going to be on top.
Revenge of the nerds.
Dude, I
Finally,
am
the nerds
so
aren't the bottoms anymore.
glad.
The nerds are.
I'm so
nerds on
glad we
top.
went to high school when the internet was
Oh, God,
a much like more manual place where you had to do things by
Analog.
hand.
I don't know how
Yeah.
anyone is going to become the president in the future. Like,
No.
I mean, AOC had enough problems just because she was in like a
Dance.
music video in
Yeah.
college or whatever,
Yeah.
and like that was like right at the
Yeah.
very end of that.
Imagine how much damage you could do by distributing fake porn of politicians and just broadcasting people sharing, and it's like it's fake, but like
I
even
think they're kind of immune to it, like you said.
I don't know, dude. I think even just like the subconscious of just injecting the idea that this person, like, remember, well, I mean, we'll talk about like specific stuff, but like sometimes like accusations that come out against people turn out to be totally false, but the news articles have already run and those headlines have
Right,
already been
right.
published, and it sits in people's heads. Like there's a couple I could talk about right now that I almost don't even want to, just to not even bring it up again, because that's the problem, is like the fact that still exists in my head, even though it's totally bullshit.
Yeah. And that connection is just like
It's
there.
just there, and
Some
you can't get rid
psyop
of it.
shit.
Yes, and that's
That's
why.
some giant condom being normal size shit.
Yeah, like I mean, look at like even like all the politician memes of like even with like Donald Trump, where they're all the stuff where it's like, oh, he's wearing a diaper, or he's this or he's that, or like Joe Biden walking up the airplane steps and tripping, and it's like they take that and it's like, look at the stupid old man who poops his pants and the stupid old man who trips on stairs. Like everybody's tripped on the stairs. Everyone's pooped their pants, and it's like
Doing it right now.
exactly. I've been doing. I did it way earlier, and I'm just praying to God I can make it to the bathroom without anybody noticing. And it's like you could make this material, and even if it's obviously fake, it does not matter.
If you have an AI powerful enough, you could like simulate the entire universe, and like you could tell the future and you could tell the past.
That's the thing. It's like it's almost by us talking about like what we think the potential problems are. It's almost like guaranteed that those are not going to be the actual problems that happen in the future. It's going to be something we just cannot even. Like,
Something so bad.
I don't know. I think that we have to wrap it up. Okay. Well, I have one more point
Liberty
to make
says
anyway.
you should always wrap it up.
So one thing about ChatGPT that I never got to say is that it's so like, I think it's so bland the way that it talks and interacts. It's like if you want to search for, say, like how does a like transformer work, I feel like it pulled that information from like a company that makes transformers from like their about me page.
Yeah, I mean,
like there's no nuance to the conversation at all, and it talks like it's almost like reading you an ad.
Yes, but
So that's why when I search for something, I always have to type in like, how does a transformer work? Reddit, and then it'll give me kind of like a more personal, like real description of how this works.
Right.
And also, the only way that it talks is like a very new way of speaking. I feel like, if you listen to all the recorders, they kind of have the same cadence and tone and
Right.
like limit of information that they give you. I kind of wish that they would go back behind, like pull maybe stuff from old books.
I think that,
like,
that
different
that's
dialogue.
all in the prompting, because I've seen like some examples of like some truly bizarre things that people have done with it. Like just have you tried to have it write any like code?
Yeah, I have.
I mean,
It works.
yeah, it's. I mean, well, what have you?
It gets horrifically close.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
what I started doing was like at first I started off like because I figured it would have to be really specific. So I was like, code for a robot to drive in a circle, like, and it has these motors and using these pins. Like I was like trying to help it as much as possible. And I had a thought. I was like, what if I just didn't? Like, what would happen? I said, give me Arduino code for a robot that can drive around a table.
It will literally
Like,
tell you what motor drivers to buy.
Yeah.
It will, like, in the comments of the code, it'll say using this motor driver connected to this pin, connected to this.
when I did not specify, I just said that will drive in a circle around a table. It put in a variable for the diameter of the table because it knew that it could be anything because I didn't tell it.
Do you remember what I gave it? Draw a smiley face on a GLCD.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I was gonna say, like, looking at the code, I'm like, this should just run, but also that's my own code. Usually I think that too. And then you realize that you didn't
Yeah,
put
the secret is probably in the smiley face might not look like a smiley face, but it looked
But it was like
would
it was
be a
like
smiley
draw.
face.
It was like draw a big circle. Like in the code, it was like drawing the big circle, then it drew the like smaller circles,
Yes,
another circle,
yeah.
and then it drew like another circle for like an open mouth. So it wasn't like a smile, but it was like a
Yeah.
And it was like
Yeah, the fact that like you could tell it to draw a face, that seems like such an abstract.
I didn't
thing.
say how big to draw it. I didn't say anything. It was just draw a smiley face on a GLCD. Didn't even say it was like a graphical LCD. It's like
Yeah.
but I said GLCD, and it came up with code that did basically exactly that. Like that blew my mind.
That's easy to take examples from this code and kind of mash it together.
But you
It's
could
pretty
do
good
it
at that.
yourself, but it would take you probably, if you're
Well, I
new,
mean,
a few hours.
Yeah, all you have to do.
Or I mean, there was Jake had an issue with his Iron Man project, and I remember I was talking to him about it, and I had like one of those shower moments where I like literally I forget, I think I was like taking a nap or something. I literally like woke up, I was like, what if it was it? And then I texted Jake, I was like, did you use like input pull-up when you were saying the input resistance, the input pins? And he was like, oh no, I didn't. I was like, okay, that explains everything. Right. And so I, with ChatGPT, put in the prompt that Jake would have used, like very high level, and it remembered to do input pull-up. It remembered to do it because that's like, I showed Jake and he was like, well, yeah, writes better in code than me. Like he had very low expectations for himself. But I was like, you realize like I gave it like a sentence to describe this kind of like multi-system thing he had going on with like when a button would push and when the EDFs would turn on and accelerate. And it's like the thing, like it was able to not just, write a giant block of Arduino code. It separated it out. It was like, this is the code for the master Arduino. This is the code for the other one that's controlling the motors. This is how they're going to be connected. And it looked, I mean, again, we didn't actually throw it on his Iron Man suit, but it looked better than his.
Do you think ChatGPT is just like Mechanical Turk, where it's just a human frantically typing?
That would be the best outcome of this, right? Is revealing that the whole thing was just a con from the beginning.
Torturing the port, like Turk torture.
Yeah.
The one that I saw on Twitter that was the most kind of like just insane to me, and it was like it's all about like prompting it correctly, because there's a couple of things you have to work around too, because there are things that is blocked from doing depending on what you prompted. But it was like someone essentially told ChatGPT to behave as if it was like it was a computer. So it was you are a Linux terminal. You are running Linux. Like all of these commands right now, like these are Linux commands. You are a Linux computer.
This guy beat ChatGPT. He
And so then it's like the output, like he suddenly is in a terminal that he can do like CD, like look at their directory. There was files in there. And so he started looking through the files that ChatGPT had just invented, and you could run all of the commands that you normally do in Linux in the fake Linux that ChatGPT was running in the chat.
Can you get root access to?
Well, I think he actually, I might be conflating these, but I think he also then like used it to connect to a fucking like RSS feed. and then started like talking to fake people in the fake computer.
Wow, that's pretty deep.
And the whole thing was completely fabricated, but internally consistent.
That's
Yeah.
freaky.
Yeah. So then he's talking to like some woman in Nebraska who doesn't exist in a chat, in a feed that doesn't exist, in a computer that doesn't exist.
I think we could make a sex hotline with ChatGPT.
I think that would
And
be the
I think
easiest
we could charge boomers money and they would have no idea they're talking to
No
a computer.
idea. Hey,
Okay.
should we let him out of the bag or keep them in there?
The farts?
Yeah.
No,
The person,
let them
the,
ferment.
the person
Yeah.
that I put in there.
Last time.
Do you want to?
Oh,
Do you want to like look at it and make sure they're still alive?
Oh, is this a little trick, a challenge for the editor? You have to remember
Yes.
what name went in there?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is, wow, we're creating a lot of
Because
work
I
now.
forget who I put in there, but
Okay, you ready?
no, don't rip it out. Just
No,
nice.
just, okay.
They were pretty lively last time.
Okay, yeah, let's let him out.
Thank you to everybody who supports us on Patreon. You give us the courage to talk about unforgivable things that will forever ruin our careers because they came out of our mouth. Here is the list, if it's not already going, of all the people that support us. If you would like to support us, we've got lots of extra content, like the last week where we opened the taxidermy Pikachu.
No, they're dead. They're dead.
Oh, they're dead.
They're
Oh,
dead.
they fell onto the ground.
Oh no.
And this week, the extra. What is
forgot
the
to put
extra
in
this
air
week?
holes.
Q&A? Are we just going to do Q&A? Where we do Q&A. So if you would like some additional content after this, we are going to answer your Discord questions, which you can get access to by supporting us on Patreon. We don't have a public